Remembering. How would I describe it? For me, it's like going back to visit a place you've been to as a small child. You remember the features, the colours are vibrant, but they don't create a full picture, as you can sense all the times you spent here, all those years ago, filled with life and wonder, but you can't remember why. The gentle tug of familiarity pulls at your skin. Goosebumps. It's like slipping back in time, falling from your adulthood to your childhood, everything blurring into one, falling without protection. It's a long way down, no padding to break the fall. You know this, but you fall anyway. You fall because you need to know. You need to remember to make sure you haven't made it all up.
Welcome to the home video just before Stone's birth.
No, I'm not being born.
No, the birth that Dawn's gonna give.
I'm not being born
yet. Ciao, ciao.
Do you got my belly?
Oh, I've got it.
Quickly, the baby's moving. Look. Stop now. Stop now.
Here's a smile. No, give me a nice look. A beautiful
Mother, you have returned to me in many forms throughout my life. The shapeshifter, the magician, the protector, the fighter, the destroyer, the burden, and the promise doctor. But you can't bandage a cut that's killed you, Mum.
doctor of what? What kind of doctor are you?
I'm called Promise.
Promise.
Doctor.
You're a promise doctor, are you?
Yeah. Mom,
What?
do you want some medicine?
Medicine.
Do you want medicine?
Yes, please.
Lovely medicine.
Is it a nice medicine, doctor?
Yeah.
Is it? Is it very tasty? Thank you, doctor. I feel much better.
Then
I wish it was that easy for me to heal you, to help you, Mum. I've often sat with myself and wondered how you felt in that moment. How dark did the world seem? How the walls closed in around you slowly, just so you would stop feeling again. Was it quiet? Did you hear voices? Did you hear me? Did you feel, really feel your skin, your bones and muscles, your blood, your heart still pumping, your humanness? Or did you reach out and feel nothing? When I'm alone with myself, I often wonder these things. I often wonder why.
Pray God you can go. I stand outside this woman's work, this woman's word. Ooh, it's hard on the man. Now his part is over. Now starts the cry of the father. I know you have a little life in you yet. I know you have a lot of strength left. I know you have a little life in you yet. I know you have a lot of strength left. I should be crying, but I just can't let it show. I should be hoping, but I can't. make it go away now.
Hello, Tallulah. My name is Shani. Bonjour. Bonjour, Tallulah Blue. Au revoir. I see you soon.
She's a little aeroplane now.
Mammy, you were my mountain, pillar and post. I wanted to grow up, to be a mountain like you.
Two mountains align. I stand at the top of mine proudly. The mountains of dawn brew with a layer of humid mist. But I cannot tell why. I am high up. The clouds are close enough to touch, good enough to eat. These mountains are not for you to take with your pictures and your postcards. These mountains are flesh and blood. They have a connection with the Mother Earth that you will never understand. The Mother, the Protector. I, the mountain, stand high up and look down at my people down below. How could I ever repay you for what you have done for me, for my family, for all of us? The landscape is patterned with dark green banyan trees. The leathery ropes hang down like snakes. The trunks, thick and rich, and dark like the color of cocoa. My mother used to brew this enchanting drink for me, her daughter, when I had stomach pains. It worked every time. Some say she was a witch. I say she was a magician. She was magical. The tips of the mountains glisten. I watch my mother, the mountain from the other side, smile. The colors have warmed now. Vests are red and yellow, warm up the sky. But the cliff face sits, judging us, watching us. It's like it knows something we don't. My mother raised me alone. She performed her magic once more when she traded her weight and her health for food for her daughter in a strange land. When I looked outside, I could see for miles and miles across, for the land which was ours. But no one to connect. There was no one around. It was me and her. We were alone. At this time, we had lived in what you could say poverty. My mother tried very, very hard to collect a high inner status. Every morning before dawn awoke this dormant well. My mother stepped quietly into my bedroom and whispered for me to come out, see the world, adventure with her, see the wild and see the forest. I would go every time. Her face was always smooth, like an oil painting. She quietly brewed in her own way, taking me around and showing me this world that we had. We had nothing more than that. She would track past bone, track past stone for her daughter. Today I have found grass that is green, not brown. I've seen dewdrops on the fruit, on the trees, on the leaves. The figs are almost ready to be picked from the banyan trees. They swell in their crimson pockets. The world is reminding us that it is still living. One day, I returned home from my little school to find my mother laying motionless on her back amongst the grass and the crickets around her. Her face was not smooth, for it was covered in cuts and bruises and dirt. Her feet were covered in pink scars and scratches. Her ribs caved in from below. I had never seen my mother like that. To me, she was invincible. This was not her, this was some trickster tricking the magician. Her eyes were closed. She was not moving. I rushed like an inquisitive godling to her feet, cupping her, trying to wake her with my little hands. In one hand, a box. In the other, a butter. I needed her then. 2 mountains at the horizon meet eyes. They see each other for the first time and recognize one another. One does not rule over the other. They are both equal, both needed in this land. The sunset deepens from red to deep brown like henna. I call out to the mountain staring across from me. I need her help. There is a deadly heat spreading through this land, and it is growing like a sleeping volcano. I will not lay in that terminal cradle. Let the lava spread through me, make an island out of me. I will not lay as a statue forever while the sand and the dust illustrate my body. I will no longer be marked or cut. I need your strength, mountain mother. Just as night turns into morning, the hush of the undergrowth whispers softly to me. Take all you need, daughter, but don't take all of me.
I always felt power in my hair, dancing around my head, strands tickling the back of my neck. I loved the feeling of having my hair touched or brushed. There was something caring in that gesture, something quite safe. My hair was hard to deal with sometimes, unruly, uncontrollable, disruptive, but so were you. It was just easier to keep it off, keep it away from my face. I wouldn't have to worry about styling it, brushing it, making it look pretty. After all, my hair doesn't define me. It was just different to yours. And different can be difficult to understand. When I went to school, I had my hair scraped back as sleek as I could get it. I wanted it to be straight, just like everyone else's was. What would the other children at school say if they saw my curls, my difference? One of my first memories of changing my hair was when I was 8 years old. I was an awkward child. I wanted so badly to find my place. Where do I fit in? Or do I fit in at all? My mum was always experimenting with her own hair, mohawk, dyed, pixie cut bald. But naturally, you were blonde, mousy brown, thin hair that I would have loved and I would have traded my thick locks for. I asked for braids, blonde braids. You said yes. I felt powerful then. I sat on a pillow on the floor for hours, counting my fingers, closing my eyes, biting my nails. Your pale fingers, intricate, purposeful. The hours left us, just you and me, on the floor, filling me with excitement to glimpse a new me, what I had become. When I looked in the mirror, I saw that these braids were long, shiny, plastic looking and made me look completely different from my 8-year-old self. My skin looked lighter because of the colour of my hair. I just wanted to look a little more like you.
Okay.
I loved them at that time because of this. When I went to school the day after having them done, I got praised by the girls and their mothers who had called me a half-breed or told me to go back to my own country the day before. One girl put her arm around my shoulder and pulled me towards her friend. She said, very assured, "Look, I told you, it's fine. She's white like us." This was power. Was it this easy to be one in my own land? Or was it my land? A few days later, I had washed the tightness out of my braids to stop them pulling on my scalp. This day wasn't so good. The braids turned green. The cheap fibres had changed colour in the bath. Green like jealousy, envy, greed, it's what I deserved. I tried to convince you not to let me go to school. You knew what they would say. I don't need another stone thrown in my face today. You refused. I waited and stared at them coming through the school gates, looking at me with a different look than yesterday, snickering. I was liked yesterday. I was touched. I had a hand on my shoulder. It was my teacher first. I couldn't have braids in this colour, they were unnatural. But I had felt natural. I told her they took hours, she wouldn't take them out for weeks. The white faded quickly. I became the freak, the mixed race girl with green hair. When I was 9, I sat sad with myself again. I asked for straight hair. Take the kink out of my curls and let me live again, like that day I had braids. We didn't have straighteners, just a small hairdryer, but that was enough. I sat on the edge of the bath, toes swirling in warm water as each section was pulled and brushed through. The heat lingered a little too long and burnt my scalp, red, hot, raw. But for beauty you must endure pain. And this was little pain to endure. You told me I looked pretty. My fingers running through my hair didn't knot or get caught up in curls. It was smooth, just how I dreamt it to be. You took some pictures as if this was the last time. I got dressed. It was late, around 6 in the evening. But I wanted to go outside. I wanted someone I knew to see me, the new me, to take notice, smile. It was getting dark outside. I remember I was wearing a small white dress, no socks, black shoes, Clarks, waiting for someone to see me. A boy I knew from Bernardo's walked past with his nan. He had a bag of sweets in his hand. And while he was chewing, he turned his head and I waved. He said my name, a little shocked. He said he hadn't recognised me. That was my power. I stood there for what seemed like the rest of the night. There was that very faint drizzle, more like humidity, like I was sweating, but no, it was rain. My short, straight hair, the longest I've ever seen it, frizzing up in my face, becoming curly again, ravelling, twisting. These moments of power were temporary.
I'd like to stop for a second just to say how difficult this can be, looking into autobiographical details of your life, especially when you're not in a good place in your life. I think sensitive subjects, even if they're just nostalgia, can really create feelings of anxiety. And also the fact that it's not a story and this is me telling my truth. What's really happened in my life is very, very difficult, because it's easy with imagination to conjure up beautiful and epic stories of things that you've done or that your family have done, or how people are perceived, but when you have to cut down to the reality, and for that to have a message is very, very difficult. I'm finding it very difficult.
I thought I was an island, and the people were the sea. I never had a homeland, just where I placed my feet.
I thought I was an island, and the people were the sea. I never had a homeland until you came for me. I thought I was a river flowing to the sea. I never was a giver until you came for me. I thought I was a mountain, head high in the sky. I never saw that fountain. We are the fire until you are the light. Came on by. I thought I was an ocean, empty and so cold. I never knew the motions till I had you to hold. I thought I was beggars elect. Move how you people, see how you see. We are not. I never had a homeland until you met silence in the atmosphere. Lead us in virtue. Look at your home. Meddled with friends. Always alone.
Ma'am, I'm not a dancer like you. I wish I could move my body in the way that you do. I remember being younger and watching you dance to your favourite songs. There was so much mystery wrapped up in that body, in those moves. I could never do ballet. Too clumsy, too heavy set. It's not my fate, I guess. To move my body and stand on my toes, proud and tall. Moments where I can't stand tall. I feel like I have fallen. I don't want to cower closer to the ground or find myself stumbling. But oh, how you made me love to dance.
Where'd you get the CD, Lula? Did you win it for being such a good dancer? Did you? Do that face again, girl. What did you say, no, like? You were nasty, you was. Show me your face when you're nasty. Lula, can you see? Oh, there's lovely makeup. Can you see it? Oh, on the nose now, is it? Oh, it's unusual, love. All over the nose. Oh, it's very unusual makeup.
Okay, sit down. Talk to me. Look, you've got our support. I know it's hard right now. It will be a slow recovery, but don't worry. She'll get there. Is something wrong with me? You don't understand. You don't even listen. Your daughter has asked for the doctor to update her on your condition, and you wouldn't want me to tell her you've gone downhill from the school. There was a field of daisies and a big metal gate you couldn't get through. I love looking into that field, and we would always try to climb over, reacting again. What do you have to say for yourself? You're an absolute waste of space. Why do you bother waking up, see, Daisy? What have you done, little one? What's on your face? Show me your face, your problems. Why do you feel the need to cover yourself like that? You look ridiculous. You're just doing it for attention, class. We have a new student joining us today. It's a little late in the year, but please make her feel welcome. Do you want to tell the class your name? No? Come on. What's your name, love?
Tallulah. Hello, darling. Oh, that's so beautiful. Who's so beautiful? You're a star. Tallulah Blue.
Those were the days, my friend. We thought they'd never end. We'd sing and dance forever and a day. We'd live the life we'd choose. We'd fight and never lose. For we were young and sure to have our way. Those were the days, my friend. We thought they'd never end. We'd sing and dance forever and a day. We live the life we'd choose. We'd fight and never lose. For we were young and sure to have our way.